This is like you playing the game.
Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
On air and online at ticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Happy Thursday to everybody out there. This is the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Hopefully you're having a good lunch hour as we are here with you every lunch hour from 12 to 1 every weekday from Monday through Friday. I'm Bach, he is Rico, and we are tag team champions. We're just a great duo.
It's true.
It is true. Although
we
did misinform yesterday a little bit as we did talk about Hooters. There was a story going out there that Hooters might be rebranding and shutting down because
we were tricked
because of millennials not enjoying breasts as much.
Yeah,
and that was false. Hooters came out and said, "Yeah, this story is not true." So I know a lot of you were worried and you were thinking, "Man, I better make one more trip to Hooters." Well,
sad.
You're in luck. You can make plenty of trips.
You are fine. It's still around. They themselves told everyone that they were wrong. That whoever posted that story, they're like, "That's not happening."
Yeah, and I thought that maybe that I knew that it wouldn't be because of the millennials thing. Like that. That's just kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
People are attracted to other people. I don't have to go too much further into that. That will stay throughout the course of history. But I did think that there was a possibility they might want to change their image because at some point...
Nobody likes owls.
No, it's not the owls thing. It's just...
Are you sure it's not the owls thing?
It's not the owls thing. It's just that maybe at some point, maybe... it won't look as great years from now as we look back and look at a restaurant dedicated to that. But there are several restaurants dedicated to that.
I definitely think it's the owls.
It could be the owls. It could just be the owls. Now we're not pro or anti Hooters. We're just trying to bring the news and want to make sure that
you do you. Whatever.
Yeah, I always like the color orange. You know, who's against? I like owls. Yeah,
it's a good. Yeah, whatever.
Heard the chicken wings are good.
We've gone too far. We need to get back on track.
All right.
There's no like veering away from this in a respectful manner. We just rip the Band-Aid off. Just go.
All right, we'll just move away from that. Of course, there's plenty to talk about in Husker Nation. Colton Feast deciding to move along and in his Husker career. A.J. Allen indicating that he will be back. Of course, Nebraska basketball invites Iowa, the Hawkeye, the football or basketball program in tonight.
I don't think they invited them. I think they just showed up.
Yeah, they just have to come.
You got to kick their butt and send them on their way.
And, of course, Husker women have some news as well as they fell short to Michigan last night. And plenty of stories nationally to get to. So why don't we start with the Husker women real quick before we dive into Husker men's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
What happened with Husker women's basketball yesterday, and how does the outlook look for the future?
What happened with them yesterday is that they Michigan showed up. And they were ready to go, and they are on a 3-game winning streak, and they are getting ready to face their second ranked team, although Nebraska should have been ranked. So they're going to get ready to face their second ranked team in their next matchup. But they showed up in Lincoln ready to battle, ready to go. And from the opening tip until the final buzzer, it was just the Michigan show. Nebraska put up a fight in the third quarter, getting to within 6 a couple of times. But for the most part, I don't believe they ever had a lead, and the game was never tied aside from 0-0 at the beginning. Nebraska just shots weren't falling. They had some easy layups that weren't going in. They had some open shots from deep that weren't going in, some open mid-range shots. Just the ball didn't want to go through the hoop for Nebraska in this one. And the offense was just kind of discombobulated from the start. Michigan was hedging every single screen for Nebraska extremely hard. Nebraska took a while to figure out how to combat it, and even then it was still a struggle for them. They ran into some early foul trouble with Markowski and Maggie Mendelson both picking up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter. So they were playing Ani Stewart at the 5, I believe, for a while, and it was just a mess of a game for Nebraska in this one, and it really showed how much they missed Allison Widener, who, as Amy Williams told us before the game or on her pregame radio show, she's done for the year. with a knee injury that she suffered in their last game. So losing her and she was the primary ball handler for most of the season, allowing Jazz Shelley, who was the primary ball handler for a lot of last season, allowing Jazz to work off ball and kind of get to her spots, pick and choose her spots, and get her open shots, running off of screens and just running around, tiring out the other team. Losing Allison is a big blow, especially with Sam Hybe not 100% quite yet. So we'll see where they are going forward, but they have no break as their next game. They have to travel to number 4 Indiana before I think they get a decent break. But I think this might have been a hangover from losing Allison in the last game and just not being able to have her. I understand that they had some time to practice and get ready without her, but even then, playing that game without her, as Amy said, the heart and soul of their team. And to me, she's one of their better defenders, if not their best defender. She's a bulldog on the court, making all of the hustle plays, all of the tough plays. Not having her on the court was a big blow to Nebraska. I'm not sure she makes, the difference in winning this game, but it's definitely not as big of a deficit as it would have been, because she is also on the offensive end. Aside from being the primary ball handler and distributing the ball, she's not afraid to get to the bucket. She'll drive to the bucket. She'll draw fouls. Even if she doesn't draw fouls, she'll collapse the defense, and her ability to pass out of those situations is extremely impressive. So we'll see where this team is without her. I think they'll be fine. It's just going to take a little bit of an adjustment period, and hopefully Sam Hybe, Jazz Shelley, Callan Hake, Maddie Kroll, they're going to have to pick up the slack. Along with Kendall Moriarty as well. They're going to have to pick up the slack that Widener is leaving behind with her injury.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately, of course, injury is a part of the sport, and that is a tough one. It's last couple of years it's kind of been hitting Nebraska women's basketball.
Yeah, but, unfortunately.
Yeah. But in any case, it's not like they're going to beat every top 25 team just because they've been beating a few of them. So I can't take the loss too.
It's only their 4th loss on the season. They'll be fine. It's going to take a blow to them getting ranked at some point during the season. But like I said, they have Indiana up next on the road at number 4 Indiana. If they can figure out a way to pull that one out, that'll really bolster their chances and of not only getting ranked, but making it into the tournament at the end of the season.
Yeah, and that'll be exciting. Of course, they played in the tournament last season, and it's always fun to have at least one program representative, just to be honest. It is nice to see.
I know Creighton played UConn last night. I don't know how that one ended up. I'll have to look that one
up. For the men's side, of course, we mentioned they have Iowa coming into town tonight, and for as far as like difficult schedules for Nebraska, the Big Ten's never going to be easy. But Iowa, not a ranked team. Of course, Nebraska has played 2 ranked teams in the Big Ten right now with Indiana and Purdue. There are only 3 of them: Indiana, Purdue, and Wisconsin. I'm assuming that Creighton game didn't go too well.
Yeah, I just saw the score. UConn beat Creighton in Omaha 72-47.
That's about what I would expect.
Yeah,
sounds about
not
right.
Great. They held Creighton to 6 points in the second quarter.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
So there you have it. UConn women's basketball still good.
Still good. Number 8 in the country.
Yeah.
With 2 losses.
That is just
that's a lot of losses for UConn.
Yeah, that's a down year for the UConn women's basketball. Again, back to the men's side though, with Iowa coming in, Chris Murray, their leading scorer back, of course, is Keegan Murray's brother. And kind of again maybe overshadowed a little bit by Keegan yet last year, and they were saying. I was kind of watching a few of the Hawkeyes games last season. It was always kind of the thought that Chris would take over once Keegan left. And I was kind of like, he doesn't seem to quite have it with what his brother. Yeah. He just wasn't where his brother was. But it's happened. Now
Turns out he's actually really good.
He's really good, and he's returning for this game against Nebraska. Of course, Nebraska most recently beating Queens by 10 points, but had a 3-game losing streak before that. Like I was saying in the captain, I think the biggest thing for this game, obviously to beat a rival is good, but if they need to, you don't want to fall too far behind the opportunity to just go 500. If you can go 500 in the Big Ten. And I don't think that's necessarily the expectation for this Nebraska team. I know that's what people want, but again, that's a tall task for Nebraska basketball to go 500 in conference play. But if you can do so, you set yourself up with an opportunity to perhaps, if you win a game or 2 in the Big Ten tournament, or maybe even if you don't, have a chance to get some postseason play. And again, they've played two of the toughest teams in the Big Ten so far. Give a fight to Indiana. Obviously, feel like they had several chances to beat number one now Purdue. So it doesn't have to be this. Yeah, Nebraska's a long shot tonight against Iowa. I think Iowa is favored.
I think it's 3.5 points.
But they do. It is a big game as far as not falling too far behind the standings.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa's sitting at 0-1 in the Big Ten. Nebraska at 0-2 in the Big Ten. So neither team with a winning record in the conference. But Nebraska does have that experience this season with facing more Big Ten teams. Not saying that Nebraska, if you're looking at a traditional Big Ten team, not saying Nebraska is that, but the fact that they've been able to face, as you just said, two of the tougher teams in the Big Ten should lend them a little bit of an upper hand going up against Iowa, who is coming off of a loss to Eastern Illinois, which they were 35-point favorites or something in that game, and they ended up losing. So this is the thing that's scary, though, is this will be the second team in the Big Ten that you face who's coming off of a loss. Indiana was coming off of a loss to Rutgers, and you saw how they came out in that game. They were ready, firing on all cylinders, not ready to lose another game. And Iowa, I'm sure, is the same way, especially a loss to a team such as Eastern Illinois and an 11-point loss to them going that way as well. So I'm sure that they've been practicing hard and looking forward to this matchup with Nebraska to try and get themselves right. But I mean, they're 8-4, 0-1 in the Big Ten. They're not world beaters. They're not a team that you look at and it's got you shivering in your boots. So Nebraska can go out there, put up a fight, as they did up against Purdue, and maybe they can come away with a win. I understand that Chris Murray is back and he's averaging 20 points a game?
I think like 17 and a half.
So, yeah, okay, almost 20 points a game.
Fine, yeah.
But it's his first game.
19.4.
Yeah, it's his first game back since his injury. So he's going to have to get his legs under him. He's going to have to get back into, playing shape. So we'll see exactly how many minutes he plays. Although knowing Iowa and knowing if he's anything like his brother, he'll probably play the entire time, or at least try to play the entire time, depending on how the score looks.
Oh, and it's funny, we mentioned his brother. There's also the other family there, the household name in Iowa basketball, the McCaffreys. Of course, Fran McCaffrey.
Different McCaffreys.
Yeah, well, different McCaffreys there in Iowa basketball. Fran McCaffrey, easy to maybe poke fun of, is he is always visibly upset on the sidelines, and expect to see more of that at PBA tonight. But they also have their two sons, the two McCaffrey brothers, Patrick and Connor. So that's always kind of fun when you play Iowa to see that out there. For Nebraska, it's kind of interesting, too, because you can't, I want to do, the typical radio thing. Who do you think needs to have a big game tonight for Nebraska to beat Iowa?
Everyone.
But it's just, well, everyone. You can say everyone, but at the same time, it's hard to single out a guy, because if one guy has an off night, that's the benefit of this Nebraska team is they just need a few guys to step up. Who it'll be, we don't really know on a given night. Could be CJ Wilcher. I mean, he could go off for 21, or he could have 2 points, and it might not really. I'm not saying it won't make a difference, because someone else will have to step up. But as far as pregame, getting ready for who needs the big game, I think Derek Walker is the only guy that I think you need consistently to have a great game. And he is kind of that consistency type of piece for Nebraska. But again, it going on a given night, Nebraska could win with I don't know. I guess I could Sam Griesel having 20 points or having 4 points. It's hard to tell.
I would say that Sam Griesel and Derek Walker are kind of the two pieces that you need. Not great games. They don't have to go off, but they need to be those solid, steadying forces for this basketball team, because that's exactly what they are. I mean, they're two veteran leadership, one in the middle and one, outside running the show. So if those two can have just a solid game, it doesn't have to be 20 points. It doesn't even have to be, 15 points. But if Derek Walker can get to, 10 points and 8 rebounds, but he's in there as a steadying force, and he's battling with the Iowa big, or, whoever they're playing's big, and he's boxing out. He might not be getting the rebounds, but he's keeping the other big away from getting the boards. If Sam Griesel can run the show, and although he's not getting assists, he's setting people up to set other people up, or he's running the offense in a way that maybe the defense is focusing on him, even if he's not hitting his shots. If he can get to the rim, the defense is going to try to collapse and stop him from making a bucket. So if he can run the show, keep things moving in a positive direction for Nebraska, those two as the steadying force, I think that's necessary for Nebraska to win really any game. But in terms of anybody going off, I mean, that's anybody can go off, like you just said, for this Nebraska team, and that'll be enough for them to win. I mean, Keisei Tominaga could go off for 6 threes or 2 threes, as he has multiple times. But the energy that he brings, even if he's not making threes, the energy that he brings is invaluable for Nebraska coming off the bench, whether he's making shots or not. Just the way that he's out there having fun really all of the time, I think that really helps Nebraska as well.
Let me ask you this, because I know I was talking to Mike Melby about this too in our last post game. Do you like Bandemel having the green light to shoot threes? He only is shooting like 25% from beyond the arc, but he seems to be kind of been given the green light to start kind of launching them.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's not perfect, but
I don't know if I like the green light. I think maybe you give him a yellow light, just so like, if you're open, you can shoot it, but don't force anything. Obviously, I mean, he's a great basketball player. If he has an open shot, I would like him to take it. But in terms of, being one of the better shooters on the court, I do not believe that he is that. Although if he can get hot, if he can heat up, sure, why not take the shots? But I think Nebraska has really the people that they want shooting the ball. And I don't know if he is necessarily one of those people, although if he can get to the rim, that's, more power to him. I mean, that's kind of Bandemel and Juwan Gary are the more of the defenders and getting to the rim guys. Those are the slashers and the defenders, the not 3 and D. I don't even know what I'm trying to. A lot of defense and hopeful dunks.
Wings, yeah. And it's interesting too with this team. It's kind of that 6-man rotation. Like I said, you could have a game where somebody scores 4 points or 20, and it doesn't matter all that much. That being said, they've got 6 guys averaging over 9 points. I'd have to go back and look at Nebraska basketball. They don't have like the top end Bryce McGowan's or
they don't have anybody
Petaway's, somebody
19.
averaging 18 or 19, right? But Walker does average 14, and I think it's probably been a while since you've had that type of depth to have 6 guys go for over 9 points. Close. That's of course that's Gary at 9.4. Wilcher averages 9.5. Bandemel 9.9. Greasel with 10.6. Tominaga 11.2, and Walker with 14 points per game. Interesting, maybe just below that is the bench player coming in for Derek Walker. Breidenbach has had looked better the last couple of games, but Blaise Keita having an injury, and that opens up a door for maybe one of your guys.
My guy, Oleg Koyanets. Fred said yesterday that he might get some time depending on if Blaise can play or if Blaise can't play as many minutes as they hopefully want him to play. That opens the door for some Oleg minutes, and I could not be any happier. He's a 7-footer. Get him out there.
Well, and the other part of that, though, too, is that Blaise hasn't been playing too many minutes in certain games. He did play 12 minutes against Purdue, but 2 minutes against Kansas State. Quincy had 7 minutes, of course, before getting injured. Probably would have played more in that game. So it's just kind of interesting how many minutes would go. What are the Blaise Keita minutes? How many minutes is that? It's
I think it's about 15.
15. You think Koyanets, if he takes over?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what Blaise normally, like, that's about right. He's around 10, 15.
I see what his averages.
Somewhere between there.
He averages 11.4 minutes per game.
Yeah, somewhere between 10 and 15.
Yeah.
That's what he's getting. Oleg 10 minutes.
But it varies quite a bit because
there are games where he hasn't played.
Yeah, in Pine Bluff he had like 27 and 24. Again, against Florida State, Memphis, Kansas State. I mean, those are brand name opponents.
Give me Oleg
2 minutes.
Give me Oleg 10 minutes. 10 minutes of Oleg.
I don't think you're getting that.
Because either Wilhelm or Derek is going to get into foul trouble, and you're going to need a big. Oleg 10 minutes.
Well, it is always watch out for Derek Walker. Hopefully he does not get
over under 3.5 points.
I'm going to go under. Sorry.
All right. Just wait. I'm writing it on the board, and I will be right.
Yeah. You've had some luck with that board in the past. So.
Shout out to me and men's basketball for whatever reason.
Mostly Thor.
Yeah. Only Thor. That's
Thor. That's the only one that really hit.
I've only had 2 bets, and I've hit on one.
What was the other one?
Not Blaise. Ivan Udrago, double.
Average?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did not work.
Yeah, well,
he didn't even average double-digit minutes.
Well, Thor was a bold proclamation too.
It was a sad day.
Yeah, you got to take your swings.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more, especially about the bowl games, and not about a bowl game in particular, but what do bowl games look like as the college football playoff expands? they're going to have some meetings, and we might know here shortly what the bowl season will look like moving forward. We'll talk about that coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket.
America's armed forces for the sacrifices. They are our angels and wing to protect, fighting hard each and every day to defend our country. We pray for their swift return. They are truly America's heroes. This message is brought to you by Jeff Walters at Walters Painting, your interior, exterior, commercial, and residential painting experts. They don't cut corners, they paint them. To book an estimate, visit walterspaintinginc.com. Walters Painting of Lincoln, wishing you a safe and happy new year.
Hey, this is Jake Bachman. Fall and football are in the air, and the holiday season is on its way. Whether it's fantasy football leagues or holiday shopping, it can never hurt to have a little extra budge in your budget. By enrolling in a clinical research study at Solaris, you'll be given help to medications for the future. In return, you'll be getting up to $500 per day for your time and travel. To qualify for the study, you should be healthy and 19 years old or older. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mostly cloudy. Could see a chance of rain later this afternoon, too. We'll see a high of around 43. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies and a low of around 24. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies will return to the region. We'll see a high of around 45. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Well, realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your Ben Bleicher with Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to the Ticket Water Cooler, brought to you by Wingstop on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Ticket Water Cooler on a Thursday, and it will be the last time you get to see Rico on the Ticket Water Cooler this week. Rico, what are you doing tomorrow?
I got a day off.
Oh, nice.
That's it. I just took the day off. I'm going to spend it. I think my wife has a day off from work as well. We're just going to have a relaxing day, maybe have a day date, maybe go watch a movie.
Avatar. I told you, Avatar.
We're not watching Avatar.
Why not?
I don't think she's seen the first one, and also I don't care.
You don't care about
I don't care. I'm not going to watch Avatar: Way of Water
It's a good movie.
quite yet.
I would say go ahead and watch it.
So we're just gonna hang out. And it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And we're still taking the kids to daycare because we're paying for the whole week, so we're taking them to daycare.
Well, you can't have a date with kids.
I mean, you can. We've done it many a time.
How does that? But the focus.
It's really
is more on the kids.
just going out with kids.
Yeah, it's not much of a date.
You could call it a date, but yeah, the kids are also there.
Well, before we let you go, then, because we'll have to get your thoughts on the playoff games this weekend. But
yeah!
Before we do that, I wanted to get your thoughts on the future of bowl games, because it's kind of interesting when the playoff expands, what does that mean for bowl games? Executives are expected to look at a lot of different bowl-related issues, including stiffening the criteria for bowl eligibility from a 6-6 record. Do you like that? First of all,
What are they going to do?
you're gonna have to have a winning record. You can't just
7-5.
7-5.
Okay,
I like it.
that's
It's
fine.
less football, though. It's less football.
That's fine, depending on if the bowl sponsors don't want to have bowl games.
Yeah, and bowl games make money and draw ratings. So
Exactly.
it's-
whether you're 6-6 or 5-7
yeah.
or 7-5, whatever. As long as you're in a bowl game, those bowl games make money. Unless, of course, you're down in Texas and it's a cold wave and it's like 7 degrees and people don't show up.
I think Nebraska should just get a bowl game every year because that would make money, and
Yeah, I think bowl
interest.
games that could have Nebraska are upset that Nebraska has been bad. Because they know if Nebraska makes a bowl game, they're gonna get what's a generous amount of Nebraska fans that would go to a bowl game? 10,000?
Yeah, 10, 20,000.
We'll just go with 10,000.
Yeah.
They're gonna get 10,000 Nebraska fans traveling there, and then they're gonna get another like 5,000 that already live there because Nebraska fans are everywhere for whatever
And
reason.
if you have like a good team, like
Everyone, the stadium will be taken over.
Yes.
Like if Nebraska, the thing is, and I know that the NCAA or whoever the NCAA doesn't run it, whoever runs the college football playoff is pissed that Nebraska is not good, because if Nebraska ever made the college football playoff and they were playing down in the Cotton Bowl host one of the playoffs at some point.
I think so. Yeah, it's a
If
rotation.
they're down in the Cotton Bowl, which is probably the closest one to here, it would be all Nebraska fans, and there would be Nebraska fans all over the city, and that place would make so much money. And they're just like, Nebraska, please be good again, because we could use all of your money.
Everybody knows college football is better if Nebraska is better.
It's
But,
better when the traditional powers are good.
Yeah, and I can't wait for Matt Rule to get
Except
it going.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma
Except
can always suck. I'm fine with that.
That's actually false. Oklahoma also has a
No,
lot.
they need to be bad.
I mean, I don't like Oklahoma either, but they have quite a following and provide a lot of money as well.
Tell them to be bad.
One of the another bowl related issue and something they're going to work on is providing more standard NIL payments, to be quite clear,
Nil.
on all players participating in a bowl game. For instance, the Cheez-It Bowl which is playing today, I believe, is as well as the Citrus Bowl, have struck unique NIL deals with 4 players participating in their 2 bowl games. So I think the Cheez-It Bowl, like, you can just stay in the Cheez-It hotel.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Which was terrifyingly awesome.
but it's also just it's fascinating because typically the payouts from bowl games have been going to the conferences, right? I mean, it doesn't even matter that, not necessarily even the team, but they have these conference affiliations. So the Big Ten 5th pick or whatever is going to play the SEC. It's usually the third you play like a better SEC team.
Yeah.
Is kind of how it's lined up. But
the Big Ten beats them.
yeah, and then the Big Ten gets an upset, and we all love it. But instead of that, they're kind of considering more flexibility, first of all, in conference bowl affiliation, which I think will give you a more exciting matchup.
I like that more.
Yeah. But a part of that, again, is because the payout traditionally goes to those conferences, so those conferences want the deals. An idea is being floated out there that the payout from the bowl games could certainly be directed entirely to the players instead of the conferences.
Wow.
If that's what the commissioners wanted. I'm not sure if the commissioners will want that.
The commissioner doesn't want that.
I don't think the commissioners will want that.
They will not.
But at the same time, that solves the bowl problem.
That
right?
would incentivize playing in the bowl.
Yes, and that makes the bowl games a lot more interesting.
And also, you could just, I know it probably, because it'd be pay for play, but like the winning team gets more.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
I don't know.
Because that would also make people like, oh, bowl games matter now.
Now, the part of this that they are discussing that I don't like is they are further talking about incorporating bowls into the expanded playoffs.
Yes.
Which would, of course, mean less host site
Oh, wait.
opportunities.
No, not yes.
Yeah. They also want to shift bowl games up a week in December. That'd be great. You get more football and
So less practice time at the end of after the end of the season.
Maybe because you'd still have a gap, but
you'd have like
a few of them.
week or two after. I mean, if you're playing in your conference championship, then you would have a week or two. If you're not, then you would have your 3 weeks.
Well, the teams playing the conference championship will usually, I mean, other than the lower levels, the group of 5 are going to have better bowl game time slots, so they'd move.
True.
They'd have longer.
True. You're right.
But that could be it. But again, they are interested in basically taking bowl games off of campuses, which at least for the first 2 years, that's going to happen in the first round. They've already kind of got that decided out.
Once with how successful that's going to be, because I guarantee that's going to be extremely successful. They're going to want to keep that.
I hope so, but the
it's also going to be it's going to be a better product.
I think so, but the Bulls will lose. It's not great for the Bulls because they lose money on it. They want to be more part of the playoffs.
Well, then maybe you don't up your bowl eligibility to 7-5, and you keep it at 6-6. How about that? Then you can have your bowl games.
We changed it around on you.
Yeah, you dummies. Yeah.
So the first round games in an expanded playoffs would have been played this past week. So in the future, this is about the time frame when it would have happened. A winter storm, of course, rolled through many Big Ten college towns, dropping several inches of snow, lots of plummeting temperatures, and a lot of harsh winds. So again, in this scenario, Ohio State would have hosted a playoff game in 25 miles per hour wind and single digit temperatures.
Perfect.
And that's, to us, that sounds great. I don't know if to outside the Big Ten footprint, everybody's like, yeah, that'd be awful. Here in the Big Ten, we're just like, absolutely.
Send Florida, send Alabama, send Georgia, send LSU up to Columbus and Ann Arbor and Happy Valley and Lincoln in December. And see how great the SEC really is.
Yeah, that's right. One of the executives...
Anybody can play in a dome,
That's right. One of the executives says the weather was treacherous this weekend across every Big Ten market. It would be hard to imagine games of that magnitude being played in those conditions. No, it wouldn't. Look at the NFL playoffs.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The NFL playoffs?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just like the end of the regular season in the NFL?
I hate the expansion of the playoff. The only thing that I think is at least
you want that
feels a little bit better is if you had host site playoff games. If you take those out,
that's the only reason I'm for the well, not the only reason. I also think the playoffs should expand anyways. But that is a big reason why expanded playoffs make it so much better, is because then you get home games at college campuses. Like, that's just amazing. You're gonna have a home game in the Horseshoe with, I don't know. Name a random team. Oklahoma State last year, I guess. Not this year. They weren't that good this year. Oklahoma State last year going to the Horseshoe to play Columbus, or to play Ohio State in 12-degree weather with snowfall. Love it. Give me Mike Gundy's mullet in the snow.
And especially, what was better than, if we're going off of last year, Michigan beating Ohio State in the snow in Ann Arbor? It was great. Felt magical.
They stormed the field.
Let's do it again.
In the snow.
Yeah.
The snow makes everything better.
And of course, there is a chance.
Cool. You have sunshine. Everybody gets sunshine. Not everybody gets snow.
I was interested because Terrell does not like this idea. He wants he say bowl games because he remembers the Fiesta Bowl are about getting out of the winter and getting in the sun.
Yeah, well, you do that for the national championship.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Or you do that for the second round of the playoffs. That first round, host sites.
I love
it. Come on, man. Tell me that did you watch the FCS playoffs?
Not too much of it. No.
South Dakota State went to Montana, and it was like negative 12 degrees, and there was snow everywhere. The stadium was packed. There were people shirtless, crazy people. Yeah. Don't know why you were doing that, but it was packed to the gills, and it was fantastic. South Dakota State ended up winning. I think it's South Dakota State, North Dakota State in the championship game. Whenever that is. It might have already happened.
We'll look into that. We also have plenty of other championship game type of stuff to talk about, because we're just talking about Michigan, Ohio State. You could see that in the national championship. Of course, with the semifinals coming up this week, we'll break those down as Rico is off tomorrow, so we want to get a chance to talk about it before he leaves. We'll do that next on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Ever think of having a career in plumbing or heating? Do you enjoy watching your favorite game in a nice, comfortable space? Taking a shower after a warm day? Well, everyone we serve at Biggerstaff Plumbing, Heating, and Air sure does. If you're interested in a career in plumbing, heating, and air, come join our team where you'll get paid while training. No experience required. Enjoy great pay and benefits in a friendly environment. Call Biggerstaff Plumbing, Heating, and Air at 402-466-8118 or apply online at biggerstaffs.com.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard and make money. Apply today.job.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa,
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to just here on the Ticket Saturday now in our new time. We're on 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. I agree. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I grew up in Nebraska, at local schools, and became a teacher. It wasn't easy, but it's the best investment I've ever made. Teachers are encouraging every student to invest their time in learning. Please join us in that effort. Support public education.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premium. Dental insurance offering costs the associates with increased bonus and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword LinkedIn. Work at Conde.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mostly cloudy. Could see a chance of rain later this afternoon, too. We'll see a high of around 43. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies and a low of around 24. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies will return to the region. We'll see a high of around 45. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler, brought to you by Wingstop on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket, and getting ready for this weekend's matchups. Of course, the college football playoffs underway. We're dancing in studio. We have Nick Sainer joining us, of course, from Happy Hour for the crossover here as we prepare for this big weekend. And also the deflating feeling of watching bowl games after the playoffs because they just don't matter. Like the bowl games now. Like last night the bowl games. Last night the bowl games felt, it was kind of refreshing. The bowl games felt, because you're getting to the Power 5 realm, right? It's like, okay, big implications. Some teams will be in the top 25 if they win or if they don't. But I can never get over the feeling after watching the college football playoffs, watching other bowl games. It just brings you down quite a bit.
I have never been so uninterested in next Monday's Rose Bowl than I am this year.
The Rose Bowl's next Monday?
It's one of the days of the
week. It should be January 1st, right?
Yeah, Monday, January 2nd.
Oh, January 2nd.
It's Penn State and Utah.
Oh, good for them.
Now you remember that it technically should be Purdue.
Should be.
But it's not Purdue because
weenies.
Rose Bowl didn't want to take Purdue, which honestly in hindsight is probably good because they lost their head coach. They're starting wide receiver.
But if they were playing in the Rose Bowl, all of them would have played.
Why would they should have taken Purdue?
Interesting. Well, because they played in the Big Ten title.
You take the runner-up.
That's
not the runner-up.
Or the champion.
Yeah, they are.
They played in the Big Ten title.
That doesn't make them the runner-up.
Yeah, that literally makes them the runner-up.
Yes, that does.
But I mean, it's a division. Obviously, I don't know if I agree with that.
They are the second best team in the Big Ten.
They're not the second best team in the Big Ten.
That's how it works.
You have two teams in the playoffs right now. Purdue's not even ranked.
That's how it works. Ohio State, not the second best team. They're the third best.
Ohio State. Yeah, I'm waiting till Friday to say
Ohio State's gonna get rolled.
I'm waiting till Friday to make that.
No, you have to do it today because I'm not here tomorrow.
Thank God.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, Bach, did you see stuff about Spencer Petras?
You were telling me about that. What's up with
Spencer Petras? Spencer Petras is thinking about. So he tore his rotator cuff and labrum in the Nebraska game.
Ow.
Okay.
Which didn't look that bad of a hit.
Yeah, no. He said, weird, yeah. So what he said, he goes, yeah, when I fell down on my shoulder, I didn't think it hurt that much. It's like I would get up and throw the football. He's like, I threw a football, my shoulder on the sideline slipped out of its socket when I threw the football. He goes, that's when I realized something was wrong.
So the throwing of the football made it worse.
Okay. So he's like, that's when I realized that something was completely torn because he's like, everything just slid right out.
That's not supposed to go that direction.
So he's like, wow, I never had my arm feel looser.
I'm ready to sling this thing.
We can sling this rock in an offense that doesn't throw the football. But anyway, no, it's funny. He said that he'll be back in, get this, 6 to 11 months. So there is a 5-month window in there.
Where would that put him?
But here's the deal.
Was that November?
Cade McNamara is there. So he is the starter. And he said in this article that he knows Cade McNamara is the starter. So he said, I'm just coming back. But then he goes, I also want to coach, but I wouldn't give up a year of eligibility just to be a grad assistant at Iowa. And I'm sitting there going, what is going on? And then the beat writer,
nobody wants you.
The beat writer for Iowa asked him, what about getting a medical red shirt? And he said, oh yeah, that's definitely been discussed. Getting a medical red shirt for this last season, then ending up using his 6th year and coming back his 7th year.
So you're not going
to
getting a medical red shirt for this next season.
Yes, for this next.
I was like, you can't get it for last season. It was the last game.
He'd be on the team for 7 years.
Shout out to the Oregon tight end.
Spencer Petras, 9 years.
Yeah.
Matt McCormick or whatever his name is. I don't know. I just figured you like that.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
That's withstanding the test
does that make you happy?
Of time and the time of Cade McNamara.
That is cool because, again, we're seeing it with some of the Nebraska guys here recently. And Terrell was kind of saying it is like, I wouldn't want to play college football, until I'm 26, 5 or 6 years. But there's some guys that say, you know what? This is like the prime of my life. Well, I'm going to be on the Iowa Hawkeye football team.
Who was the guy last year? Or no, Chase Wolf from Wisconsin was asked if he's going to come back next year. and compete for the starting quarterback job at Wisconsin under Luke Fickell. And he goes, I got the rest of my life to work. This is what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
exactly what I'm thinking.
I'm like, well, I mean, they just got a 4-star commit and a 4-star quarterback commit for 2024. So that's 2 years down the road. But like, all right, Chase Wolf.
I just don't understand.
I get it.
Chase, if you think you're Luke Fickell's guy, okay.
Well, you only get one chance
but
to
also,
be the Wisconsin starting quarterback.
Well, apparently you get what, 7?
Yeah, Graham Mertz. How many chances did Graham Mertz get?
I get it. You know, you get one chance to play college football, but at the same time, at some point, you're not going to be playing college football, and maybe it'd be better if you got started on that now. If you're just going to be sitting on the sideline not doing anything,
Get a year head start of a 40+ year journey till retirement.
Yeah, or if you want to be a coach like Spencer does, maybe get that grad assistant year in.
Well,
but not
you
at
could be.
Iowa.
I mean, you could be.
But not at Iowa.
You could. I mean, if he's going to be injured, he's basically going to be a coach on the field. He's basically getting that experience.
Yeah, but why not get paid for it?
It's like the on the field, on field leadership. I suppose
You do get paid to be a grad assistant, right?
Yeah, I believe so. But here's what's crazy, guys, is Spencer basically was a human shield for Brian Ferentz this last season.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like if you think about how they kind of viewed not Spencer Petras, but just the offense, like Spencer played really bad. Like he was atrocious.
But also, who was calling the plays?
Brian Ferentz.
Also the best they had, by the way.
Yeah, like
Yeesh.
I don't know. Alex Padilla.
Where did he transfer to?
Has he? Has anybody? Would anybody pick up Alex Padilla?
I'm gonna look it up.
Padilla wasn't as bad as I think people. Because I will never forget. We were sitting up there in the press box in Iowa City, and they put or assigned my seat next to an Iowa guy, and he was one of the 24/7 reporters for Iowa. And I remember when Alex Padilla came in, he was like, "Well, it's about damn time." He goes, "This should have happened in week 3." And so, like, I think when you're comparing apples to apples between Spencer Petras and Alex Padilla, I'm not sure there's much separation, but it's a new face.
Alex Padilla.
He has not been picked up yet.
Shocker.
He's just chilling in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. He was supposed to be a bit of more of a mobile threat. He was kind of the Logan Smothers frustration where he could have picked up a first down against Nebraska.
Honestly, he should have ran. On the last drive or second to last drive, he should have ran to get the first down, but instead he threw one over the middle and it was incomplete. But okay, so speaking of Iowa, really quickly, how do we think their game against Kentucky is going to go?
They
Because
are
just
going
seems
to
like the most
lose.
Everybody's sitting out for Kentucky too, right?
Yeah.
They're going to lose.
Like Iowa's bad. I think Iowa actually wins because somehow, some way, they're going to figure out a way to either run or have defense. Kentucky doesn't it's not Kentucky of last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as interesting as that Kentucky Iowa game was last year. In the bowl
that was
season.
great.
So I think Iowa wins, but I'll say this in my bull pick'em league, we put the confidence points 1 through 42. I put 1 on Iowa.
Yeah.
Because I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah. I don't even know how to break that down either. Kentucky, I don't know. Kentucky beat Louisville in their last time out.
Oh, wow.
But they've lost
Louisville.
Well, yeah.
Hey, you leave Louisville alone.
Louisville was a top 25 team when they beat them.
Louisville lost their head coach, basically pushed their head coach out to go to Cincinnati.
You leave
and then
Louisville
Jeff
alone.
Brom comes back home where he and his dad played football.
We are a pro Louisville show.
What if Jeff Brom doesn't work out at Louisville?
It will.
That'll be another former quarterback not working out at his home school.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, why you got to
That'd
do
be frustrating.
that? Why you got to do that?
You're telling me, Bach, that you're not interested in USC Tulane's bowl game?
There it is.
No, I can't do it.
After the play, you really?
No, it's
I'm
after
in USC Tulane.
It's
I will.
I will say
serious.
this:
That's
Alabama, Kansas State, I'll be glued.
Yeah, especially with Bryce Young and Will Anderson playing.
Yeah, and that just has that's bigger implication feel for Kansas State program like that. They're already kind of been put on the map, but that really puts you on the map.
Kansas State's going to win.
Kansas State highest recruiting class in the last 25 years.
I've noticed a lot of Kansas State graphics on the Twitter sphere.
Yeah.
Also, Alex Padilla hasn't even visited anywhere since he's entered the portal.
Yeah,
somebody pick up Alex Padilla.
I just
that man didn't get a fair shake at Iowa.
Not to pile on him. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the portal right now.
But Padilla didn't get a fair shake at Iowa. Everybody was just so.
There was 3 Wisconsin quarterbacks that transferred.
Yeah.
Where's Joel Stavi at nowadays?
I don't know.
He's probably out of eligibility.
Joel Stavi is he? Never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
Leave Joel Stavi alone.
Joel Stavi or Kurt Phillips.
Oh yeah,
he the guy that beat Nebraska 70-31 in the Big Ten title game. Kurt Phillips
threw the ball like 4 times.
He had Peyton Manning's locker in Lucas Oil Stadium.
This is
freaked
not
out.
a pro Joel Stavi.
He was
show.
like, "Whoa, I got Peyton Manning's old locker," and then he decided to go out there and throw like 8 passes total. And Nebraska Wisconsin ran for like 500 yards with Monty Ball. Ball, James White,
Melvin Gordon.
Dude, I love looking at this transfer portal thing. It's so many quarterbacks. I'm like, wow, I didn't know you were in the portal. I forgot Hank Bachmeier was in the portal.
Oh yeah,
still hasn't committed anywhere.
What are you going to be glued to the bowl game today, or should we get 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you going to be glued to the is it the New Era Pinstripe? No, it's not new. Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl today at 1 o'clock between Minnesota and Syracuse.
By the way, it is New Era. It's not officially.
It's not
I know
Bad
it's
Boy Mowers
not
yet.
It's New Era though.
But it's New Era.
Oh yeah,
it's like one of the, it's like Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Like
it's
that's
Tostitos.
what it is. Like that's what it is. Like I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Or
the
the
Gasparilla
AT&T
Bowl.
Cotton Bowl.
The Gasparilla Bowl
yeah.
needed to stay the Bad Boy Moore's Gasparilla Bowl because
Yeah.
it just fit. It just rolled off the tongue.
Yeah. Or the what was it, like the Konica Monica.
Konica Mobile.
Was it that one? Like where it was like the that used to be the Cotton Bowl because when Nebraska played Clemson in the Cotton Bowl with Dabo as the interim and Bo Pelini.
Oh yeah.
It was like the Konica Monica. I remember
The Holiday Bowl, is it still the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl?
I don't think it is, but it is.
Okay, it's the
Yeah.
Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
Some of
I
those
need to see that-
sponsorships just
I need to
stick in
see
our
that
heads.
whale.
Yeah.
That whale at the Holiday Bowl is necessary.
Yeah. Nice.
Now, did you
And
know
that was played at Qualcomm.
Yes,
Wow.
I loved
Yes,
Qualcomm
yes.
Stadium,
Yeah.
but it was like old and.
You know, one of Purdue's quarterbacks, a 4-star quarterback's in the portal. Brady Allen.
There you go.
Good for him.
But yeah, which game are you excited for, Nick? The Pinstripe Bowl, Minnesota and Syracuse?
I'm not interested at all. I was shocked to see
Yes, you are.
Minnesota as a 10.5-point favorite.
Yes.
Well, as we know, Syracuse doesn't have their defensive coordinator
That's fine.
or their offensive coordinator.
That's fine.
Or just anything.
So Syracuse can't win?
Syracuse can't win.
Is it Kaliak Manis getting the start for Minnesota
I
tonight?
believe so.
I'd like to look at that.
Probably.
Konica
That game's
Monica
starting
Gator
now,
Bowl, not the
basically.
thank you, not the Cotton Bowl. It was
Gator
the
Bowl.
Gator Bowl.
Got it.
Thank you.
Oklahoma,
Nebraska
Florida
Clemson.
State today in the Camping World
So,
Bowl.
Cheez-It
A
Bowl.
little bit of
Cheez It Bowl.
a little bit of an
They're in
update.
Camping World
or
Stadium.
Here's a little bit of a take on that one. I think Oklahoma wins.
Florida State's favored by 10.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma wins in
Interesting.
that bowl game. I'm just not sold on Florida State.
And then the Alamo,
Bowl.
Texas and Washington.
That's
at
actually a
8
pretty
p.m.
darn good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Are we taking Texas?
No, we're taking Washington. Michael Penix, baby.
That
Coming
does
back for
nothing
another year.
me. That does nothing for me.
He's coming back for another year.
Michael Penix was one of the more sought after transfers. Like when he entered the portal, then his name, like the luster went away from it, and now he went to Washington, where he just basically fell off the face of the earth.
Fell off the face of the earth.
He did.
They're 10-2.
They're number 10 and
He has
12. Was he injured for like a majority
4,354.
of the season?
No, Michael
Or am I
Penix?
thinking about somebody else?
You're thinking of somebody else.
Somebody
You must.
You
be.
missed the whole Michael
Dang.
Penix experience this
Yeah,
year?
I'm done with Michael.
He led the
Oh,
nation in
no.
passing
Yeah, he
yards.
was
that's my
great.
bad then.
He had
Maybe I'm
29
I must-
touchdowns.
I must be thinking about
Big
somebody
upset.
else.
Definitely
I'm
are.
gonna have to look during the break so people don't know that I'm that big. Of an
He ain't no
I
Bo
gotta figure
Nix,
that out
but
during
you know
the
he's
break.
up there.
Oh, he's better than
Bo Nix. Hey, Oregon last
My
night.
guy, Bo
Yeah.
Nix.
Let's work with.
Yeah.
Give me Bo Nix. I don't know what his odds are going to be next year for the Heisman. I'm gonna sprinkle $5 on that.
Yeah. That's $5
Yeah,
you're throwing
baby.
away.
I'll win a bunch of money.
Be that great.
A bunch of money.
I don't know. I think Caleb Williams will probably have the leading odds there.
He ain't gonna go back to back. Nobody goes back to back.
Quinn Ewers,
Drake May,
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning,
Michael Penix,
Michael Penix will be up there.
Jeff
Shitter Sanders.
Seriously, you gotta look up Michael Penix. He had a really great year.
What in the world?
I need to look at Michael Penix.
of the earth. They were 10-2.
He like redeemed himself.
Kalen DeBoer.
He
I
fell
like
off the
Kalen
face
DeBoer.
of the earth at Indiana.
Goodness
Well, no,
gracious.
Indiana fell off the face of the earth.
Idiot.
Tom, you want to talk
Yeah.
about somebody that fell off? Tom Allen
Oh yeah.
gets this extension at Indiana and then just follows it up with a 2-10 season.
Shout out Tom
Yeah.
Allen.
Who?
Tom Allen.
Oh, Tom Allen. I think
Yeah.
you said shout out to Mello.
Yeah, Mello
Why-
too.
Yeah, shout out to Mello. Maybe we'll get back in the league.
That'll wrap it up for the Ticket Water Cooler Happy Hour coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.